Ladies and gentlemen, please take your position as this event is about to commence. Before we delve into the heart of our discussions, I kindly request your attention for a moment to review the rules that will govern our interaction throughout this meeting. First, be punctual. Please join the meeting on time or a few minutes early to avoid disruption and show respect for others. Second, dress appropriately. Even though it's an online meeting, please dress appropriately to steer clear of appearing impolite and causing any discomfort to others. Third, minimize distractions. Please find a quiet, well-lit space for the meeting and minimize background noise and distractions. Mute notification on your devices to avoid interruptions. Fourth, participate actively. Engage in the discussions, contribute your ideas, and listen attentively to others. And please use nonverbal cues like nodding to show your engagement. Fifth, respect others' speaking time. Avoid interrupting others while they are speaking. And please raise your hand or use the meeting chat if you want to speak. Six, use natural language and tone. Please maintain a neutral demeanor in your language and tone and avoid using slang and inappropriate language. And last but not least, be patient and courteous. If there are any technical difficulties or if someone is having trouble speaking, treat all participants with respect. Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, may peace be upon us. Good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants. It is my distinct pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each of you to monthly discussion on global legal affairs organized by the Udayana Research Center for International Law in collaboration with the Student Community for International Law, Faculty of Law, Udayana University. As your Master of Ceremonies, I'm honored to facilitate our discussion on cyber warfare and international humanitarian law assessing legality in the Iran-Israel conflict. My name is Anggita Maraneka, and I'm committed to answering that today's conversation are both enlightening and enriching. Thank you for your kind attention, and let us proceed with our utmost decorum and enthusiasm. The proliferation of cyber operation in recent years has significantly altered the landscape of modern warfare, posing challenges to establish legal frameworks and ethical norms. As we delve into the complexities of this evolving phenomenon, we'll jump into some crucial questions emerge. First, how should we define cyber warfare within the realm of international law? Second, what are the ramifications of cyber attacks on civilian populations and critical infrastructure? Above all, how can we reconcile the principles of humanity with the realities of cyber conflict amid the ongoing tensions between Iran and Israel? And ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker, Ms. Putu Margareta Valencia Divayanti, a Bachelor of Law student of Udayana University, whose thesis related to this topic at hand promises to enlighten and inspire us today. Additionally, guiding our discussion and with fairness and expertise, please join me in welcoming our facilitator, Mr. Igustin Ngurah Parikesit Widyateja, SIM, LLM, PhD, lecturer of Faculty of Law, Udayana University, whose skillful guidance will ensure a fruitful exchange of ideas throughout this event. Let us embark on this journey together in embracing diverse perspectives and fostering constructive dialogue. To Mr. Parikesit, time and place are yours.
Thank you, Agita. And I would like to open my talk by saying Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Salam Namo Buddhaya. Salam sehat. Salam kebajikan. And it is my very pleasure to welcoming all of distinguished participants. I saw some my colleagues from international law departments have joined. Ibu Codia, and also later Bapak Dewa Palguna will also join. All students from Udayana Law Faculty, alumni, and also other relevant parties who have interest in this issue. So, yeah, before going into the discussion, I would like to give some like a brief story, yeah, about the session that we have today in this special day. I think this is the special day because this is the very first session of international law today, only discussion on global legal affairs. We try because as information, Udayana University has many research group within university and within law faculty, particularly in international law department. We have kajian hukum internasional or Udayana Research Center for International Law, yeah, or you can call it as UNCIL, UNCIL, yeah, not UNIL, yeah, UNIL the different one. And to begin, then we try to create academic meeting, academic forum, and because today is also special because all around Indonesia celebrating National Education Day, then it is a good momentum to start a monthly discussion. Of course, there are many goals for this event. The first is we try to encourage students, especially have interest in international law, to discuss in regular basis all kind of international law issues like international treaties, human rights, law of the sea, and etc. And also this event, yeah, will be a venue for student specialization in international law after conducting thesis defense or sidang skripsi to perform their final thesis to the wider audience. So for younger students, yeah, we have, for example, in US, we have like freshmen, sophomores, junior, and senior. Then this event will be a bridge for younger students to understand how to conduct, how to do like a final thesis defense. And of course, this event also important for gain networking and collaboration, because every session will invite not just student, not just lecturer, but also alumni from Udayana Law Faculty will be also join. So they will also understand, they will also recognize that now in Udayana University. I think that's all my brief overview of this event today. And for the first session, yeah, we have Putu Margareta Valencia Divayanti, and I think she is famous in SCIL community because she served for the president of SCIL, and also because she has also academic achievement. I know some achievement like ALSA International Memorial Writing Competition, International Humanitarian Law Moot Court Competition, and Brawijaya International Memorial and Competition. And surprisingly, she has also work experience as a MBKM internship at Dinas Inspektorat Kabupaten Badung in 2023, and also as a legal intern at PT Bima Sakti Altera. And actually, the topic today, yeah, cyber warfare and international humanitarian law, assessing legality in the Iran-Israel conflict, uh, came from his final thesis. Her final thesis actually talking about cyber warfare and international humanitarian law, uh, looking at the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. But because I think now, because the the rise of technology, especially the digital technology, I think every war that it happened, I think it seemed to use like a cyber warfare. So I think this topic, looking at the current war, the current conflict between Iran and Israel, will be exciting topic to be discussed today. So without any delay, I'd like to invite, yeah, I usually call her Tata, yeah, to express, to start your presentation. Okay, time and place are yours, Tata.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Parikesit, who is also my lecturer in Udayana University. So first of all, thank you so much for the audience and also the facilitator and also SIL for facilitating this big opportunity, especially for me. Let me introduce myself once more. My name is Putu Margareta Valencia Divayanti, and currently I'm still the student of law faculty in Udayana University, but I just have my thesis defense, like what my lecturer say, Mr. Parikesit. I just finished my final thesis and concerning about cyber warfare, especially in a case of Russia-Ukraine conflict. So I will give a presentation. So I will share my screen. Okay, hopefully is the screen is can be seen, Mr. Parikesit? Is it seen well?
Yes, yes, that's clear.
Okay, I will give a simple explanation. Especially in my thesis, it's about cyber warfare and the regulation in international humanitarian law. But in the case of conflict in Russia and also Ukraine in the invasion of 2022. But here, because we're also talking about the conflict that happened in Iran and also Israel, therefore, I will simplify my thesis and I will cut the Russia-Ukraine parts. So this is the cyber warfare and international law, especially in general, by me, Putu Margareta Valencia Divayanti. In the first chapter, I will explain what is cyber warfare. For the simple and brief explanation in the meaning, in some kind of literature that I have been read before, so cyber warfare is one of modern warfare methods, especially conducted in cyberspace by using computers and internet networks as a means of attacking or defending with the target of enemy's information system. And cyber warfare is not used as the primary means in war, however, as the method of supporting conventional war in order to achieve military necessity. And for the media operation, in the cyber warfare using internet network in cyberspace as the domain. And in the types, just the same as the conventional war, there are also two types of method. The first one is attack method, and the second one is defense method. In attack method, we have espionage. Espionage is spying, sabotage is sabotaging the data, especially more like leak the data or deleting the data, or maybe any kind of things that could give the bad effect about the data. And the third one is attacking the electric power grid, and also propaganda, and then economic disruption. And the last one is surprise cyber attack. And in defense method, there are two types. The first one is active defense, and the second one is passive defense. And in the weapons in cyber warfare, they are usually using four type of weapons. The first one is malware or malicious warfare. Malicious software. This malware is more like a virus. And the second one is DDoS. The purpose is for closing access of system or the network. And the third one is botnet. Is one of kind of hack computer. And the fourth one is phishing or network manipulation by getting the data illegally. Also, there are some cases that happen in international work, especially in international humanitarian law and conflict. There are several cases using the cyber warfare. Okay, the first one is Estonia attack that happened in 2007. The attack was conducted by Russian hackers that attacked Estonia by using DDoS to Estonia's public server that caused several sites in Estonia went offline. The second one is Stuxnet in Iran. It happened in 2010 that conducted by USA that sent a computer worm to attack Iran's military nuclear facility. And the third one is Russia-Georgia conflict that happened in 2008 that also conducted by Russian hackers that attacked Georgia by using DDoS right before they attacked Georgia by using military method. And the fourth one is Orchard operation in Syria. It happened when two of Israel air forces attacked Syria's military base without detected by the radar of Syria because the radar system already being hacked by Israel by using cyber things, hacking by cyber. And the fifth one is the DDoS attack in Ukraine that happened in 2014. It happened when Russia annexed Crimea in 2014 that Russia sent the cyber attacks to make the rebels from Crimea control Crimean region and ended up Crimea being the part of Russia. And the sixth one is conflict that happened in Israel-Palestine in 2014 that both Israel and Palestine, both of them during the conflict in 2014, were sent cyber attack to each other. And the last one, it's about my thesis, Russia-Ukraine conflict in 2022, right? When the Russia invasion to Ukraine, the first one is Russia attacking Ukraine by using cyber warfare, by using cyber attack. And then Russia did some revenge by using the same cyber attack methods that they have cyber warfare during the invasion. This instead of military, they also using the cyber method in the invasion. Okay, so that's the general description about cyber warfare. And then we move to the chapter 2 is about cyber warfare and the regulation in international humanitarian law. And the first one, the regulation in IHL instruments, there are agreement, convention, statute, or anything else. There are several of the instruments that regulating cyber warfare, but they are not implicitly regulating about cyber warfare, but it's stated explicitly, all of them, almost all of them. The first one is the Hague Convention in 1707. In the fourth convention, especially in Article 22 and Article 24, it's talking about the limitation of use of weapon in war and the prohibition the use of weapons that cause unnecessary suffering. And also in the fifth convention about neutrality, it's concerning the respect to the parties outside the conflict. It's about some of the internet servers are down or broke, so it impacts the other country inside of the conflict. and also the Geneva Convention in 1945, especially in the Fourth Convention. It's explicitly regulating about the protection of civilians and the right of civilians that must be respected in the state of war. And also in additional Protocol 1 of Geneva Convention in 1977, especially in Article 35 and 36, concerning about the use of new means, weapons, or methods in war that shall not violate IHL and shall not cause unnecessary suffering. Also, we have the Rome Statute 1998 in Article 8b10. It's talking about the prohibition of destroying or seizing enemy property if it's not urgent, as well as the use of weapon or methods of war that cause unnecessary suffering is prohibited. And lastly, we have the Tallinn Manual 2.0. This is a new instrument that in 2017, it specifically regulates about cyber warfare, cyber operation, and any other similar action in the war relating to cyber methods. And next, the regulation in IHL principles. I also have this in some literatures in ICRC. So this is the legal one in ICRC that stated cyber warfare in the principle of IHL. The first one, principle of humanity, stated that regardless of any kind of methods, civilians and also combatants must be treated humanly in armed conflict. And then second one, the principle of distinction. When the cyber attacks are carried out, the target must be differentiated between civilians and civilian objects and combatants and military objects. Also, principle of proportionality stated that cyber attacks with any kind of weapons or methods are prohibited from resulting in death, injury, and destruction of civilian objects in order to fulfill the military necessity. And the fourth one is principle of military necessity, stated that the use of cyber warfare methods in war must be used to achieve military necessity legally according to IHL. And the last one is unnecessary suffering, that stated the use of weapons in cyber warfare must not cause excessive injury or unnecessary suffering to the civilians. And next, we have the regulation about cyber warfare in customary international law. The first one, we have customary international humanitarian law, or we can usually call it as CIHL, and Chapter 3, Rule 45 to 56, regulates the consequences of the methods used in war shall not cause major losses to civilians. And also in the Chapter 4, Rule 70 and 71, stated about the prohibition of the use of weapons in war that might cause use unnecessary suffering or anything else. And then we also have the opinio juris. That opinio juris is the belief that a state is legally bound by a practice or rule. So it could be categorized as customary. It is one of the two elements of customary international law along with general practice. Therefore, the rules in the Tallinn Manual could be categorized as an opinio juris because the Tallinn Manual was an instrument that prepared by thousands of IHL experts with reference to IHL instruments and also national legal practice of various countries. Okay, that's about the regulation of cyber warfare in IHL. Move to the Chapter 3. It's about the legal actions on the use of cyber warfare in international humanitarian law. The first categorized is legal actions in accordance to hard law. The first one is legal action of imprisonment or prison. It usually under the ICC jurisdiction and regulated in Rome Statute of 1998 and prosecute individuals and shall fulfill the condition of ICC jurisdiction that regulated in Rome Statute again. And the second one is legal action of paying compensation. It was stated in the Convention 4 of Hague Convention 1907 and also in additional Protocol 1 and Article 91. And the party that stated that the party that violates IHL is responsible for all actions carried out by individuals or armed group of the party concerned. It also stated in Article 75 of Rome Statute that regulates the payment of compensation to victims of the crime that conducted by individual perpetrators that violated IHL. So the difference is in the Convention Hague and also the Additional Protocol 1, it's based to the country who did the violation of IHL, and in the Rome Statute is two individuals who violated the IHL. Okay, the second categorized is the legal action in accordance to self-law. The first one is legal action of reprisal. Reprisal is military retaliation that in a purpose to stop the violations. Reprisal is not regulated directly in IHL instrument because it categorized as violent action. So has become traditional custom in war. Therefore, it could be categorized as customary, but it was regulated in Geneva Convention, Additional Protocol 1, CIHL, and the Tallinn Manual, but not directly about the use of reprisal, but the prohibition of the use of reprisal against the elements protected in IHL, such as the wounded and sick armed forces and the civilians, are also any object or subject that protected in IHL. And the second one, legal action of doing reparation. It was regulated in RCWA, one of the CIL, one of the customary of international law, Article 35, in the Tallinn Manual, Rule 28, that states the states that violate IHL are responsible of making reparations for damage that caused by the operation they carried out. And the last one is cessation and providing guarantee and insurance or assurance. It also stated in RCWA on Article 30 and the Tallinn Manual Rule 28 also that stated that the state that obligate must stop its action and provide guarantees in the form of assurance and guarantees that the action will not happen again. Okay, so move to the third one, the legal action that could be given by United Nations Security Council or UNSC, that stated in Article 13B of Rome Statute that saying the UNSC has the authority to enforce laws against violation of IHL as long as it's still in accordance with the United Nations Charter. There are two types of enforced law or legal action according to UN Charter. The first one is legal action by non-military. For the example is embargo, usually use embargo. It is stated in the Article 41 of UN Charter. The embargo could be categorized by economy or weapon embargo. For the example of economy embargo is to export or import bans, investment bans, trade boycotts, termination of financial cooperation relations, asset freeze, cash transfer bans, or travel warning. And the example of weapon embargo is the prohibition of weapon buying and selling transactions, suspicion of weapons manufacture, prohibition of sending and supplying weapons, or prohibition of providing financial assistance for weapons. And the last one is legal action by military use. If the non-military legal action in Article 41 does not work, we could use the United Nations Security Council could use legal action by military use. It also stated in Article 42 of UN Charter. Some of the example of military use is blockades, military operation by land, sea, or air that conducted by UN members. And there are several, no, it's not several. There are a lot of categories or conditions before can use the military use that obtain approval from the UN member countries, especially the founding countries of the United Nations, such as Russia, China, USA, or those countries who have the veto rights in United Nations. Okay, that's about the legal action that could be take in the concern of cyber warfare. And then the last chapter, the possible uses of cyber warfare in Iran-Israel conflict. Actually, I did not really have deep research about it because my thesis is concerning about the Russia-Ukraine, but there are several research from me about Iran-Israel conflict and the use of cyber warfare. The first one is about the chronology. The chronology of the conflict on Saturday, 13th of April 2024, Iran attacked Israel by using more than 3,000 missiles and drones. And people believe, according to the media, the motive of the attack is because Iran's attack was a response to the Israeli attack on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, which killed 7 Tehran military officials of Iran. So it's more like the revenge attack from Iran to Israel. And move to the cyber warfare. We also know it's not some of the experts stated that Iran ever being the target of cyber attack, just like the example I've been mentioned before. Iran ever being the target of cyber attack, it's nets that conducted by USA in 2010, and Israel also ever did the cyber warfare when the conflict in 2014. So there's a lot of possibility of cyber warfare used in this conflict by looking from both parties' cyber history. And I also ever read it. I also have a research. I ever read it that a hacking group linked to Iran claimed to have compromised Israeli radar system in the weeks leading up to the attack. So according to the cyber expert, Israel is one of the countries with the largest cyber power. So it will be very possible that Israel will carry out the cyber attacks against Iran to support its military strength, just like they've been done before with Palestine. So I have no further research about Israel conflict, especially about the cyber warfare, because the cyber warfare have not it's not happened. It's not yet happened in Israel and Iran conflict. It's just the conventional war. So maybe in the future, right after this, some kind of group hackers already work to do some cyber warfare in the conflict of Iran Israel. I don't really sure about it already happened or not. So maybe it will happen because of both of country have history and cyber warfare. Okay, so that's about my presentation about my thesis concerning cyber warfare. But I give a lot of cut because my thesis is about conflict that happened in Russia and Ukraine. So maybe I will apologize if there's a lot of things that lack from me. Maybe if there are the lecturer of law faculty, Diana here, there are Mrs. Chokdiah and also like Mr. Pariksit said, there is Mr. Palguna will join. If there anything I lack, maybe I'm still learning, so I will give it back to Mr. Pariksit. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Tata, for the great presentation, for the great enlightenment. But before continuing, I just curious about your background. It seemed that you put all the gift from your friend after the celebration. So look,
Yeah,
I
actually
have so
it's
many.
dry.
I've been successful to develop. So no more question. Instead of just my lecturer can do it.
Yeah, there's several from my friends when I have the thesis defense.
That's a great motivation for the younger student, especially. Okay, if you want to be passed examination or the final thesis defense, then you have to explain like you did already. Okay, the topic is quite interesting. That's why this is becoming the first session of the International Law today, only discussion on global legal affairs. Topic of talking about the cyber warfare and in relationship with international humanitarian law. As Tata has said that, yeah, although there are many international treaties, but none of them have expressively mentioned about the cyber warfare. Maybe the closest international treaties that cover this issue would be a Tallinn manual, if I'm not mistaken. But the Tallinn manual itself also is not mandatory. It's just like a soft law. So, yeah, you guys know already about soft law, and then the enforcement process is not really strong. And yeah, from the presentation, all participants recognize the cyber warfare, the regulation, international regulation, international law that cover this issue, the legal action that can be imposed for a party who use cyber warfare, and also the application, to the recent conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and also Iran and Israel. Yeah. Although there is no statement that both parties have used cyber warfare, but I believe either Iran or Israel, they will not formally, they will not tell the global audience that they will use cyber warfare. When country use cyber warfare, we can recognize from the impact, from the and then we like a formal or conventional war. If we start the war, then let's launch the missile, launch the rocket, and etc. Launch the airstrike or launch the drone. But when we want to use cyber warfare, then the method is like hidden. Yeah, we use like as Tata said, sabotage, espionage, something like that, something behind or under the table, and then the impact, only the impact we can recognize. That's the problem of the cyber warfare, and also because the impact of cyber warfare is not just for military, for the party who have a conflict, but also for the civilian. Because if someone or country use cyber warfare, the impact can be happen to civilian. They can destroy essential services. If you want to the hospital, then the hospital has been hacked. We want to buy gasoline, and then the gasoline is closed, and we want to buy like a grocery food to the shopping center, and then the shopping center, the system have been hacked, and it will sooner or later will destructively impact the civilian. And it's becoming more complex because there is no exact law that regulate, that enforce the consequences of cyber warfare. So hopefully Indonesia will not in the war position, but we have to also anticipate that if cyber warfare issue is not regulated in international level, then it's going to be a problem for the peace and security of the world in the future. And yeah, this is just a trigger to discussion. I try not to summarize, just to give like a brief comment how important of the topic of cyber warfare within international law community, because the vacuum of norm, ya, kekosongan norma yang happening in the issue of cyber warfare. Before opening discussion session, I'd like to greet my colleague from international law, Bapak Maharto Yase, who have already joined tonight, and also another colleague will also be joined. Then it will give us support for the continuity of this event. Thank you so much, Pak Maharto, Bu Chokdia, for coming to this session. Okay, let's move on to the discussion, and I hope within 60 minutes we have fruitful discussion, productive insight from never see who is talking, but see what are they talking about. So even though student maybe 20 years old, younger than me, for example, but maybe they have experience, they have nice thought, because the issue of technology, yeah, the sophisticated technology, it's very massive, very fast, yeah, and it will cover many issues, including military issues. Oh, I would like to greet also Bapak Dewa Palguna. Thank you so much, Pak Palguna.
Yes.
For joining.
Yeah, good evening.
Do you have any thought, Pak Palguna, before we open the discussion?
Yeah. Not yet. Let the others to speak first. But because I have just joined, I'm sorry for late joining the event.
Oh, no worries, Pak Palguna.
Yeah, it is. I think it is an important event to be, and I really do appreciate the initiative by Pak Sigit as the chairman of Lab Hukum International in the Faculty of Law, Udayana University. And I think it is also about time to our students to express their opinion, the assessment to actual issues according to the understanding in international law. So this will be a meaningful event in the. So happy discussing.
Thank you so much for very warm and all her to support Pak Palguna. Hopefully, this event, we try to make this event in regular basis, and yeah, if not monthly, at least we can do it in fortnightly, because I think many fourth-year students have passed the final exam. Then yeah, I think it is a momentum to accommodate their thought, their idea into this event. Pak Palguna, for your support, and let me invite audience to ask, add information, or just share any idea. Yeah, we don't have to do like a question and answer. Yeah, it's not strict. like a Q&A, but also if you have any recent issues about the Iran-Israel conflict, that would be good to explain. Maybe you have reference that, okay, for the reason one, the use of cyber warfare has been done by the Israel or has been done by Iranian, because both countries have like historical use of cyber warfare in the previous conflict, and yeah, it could be happened in the conflict between them recently. Okay, would like to be the first? Yes, Laetitia Arista. Okay.
Okay, hello. Can my voice be heard?
Yeah, please speak louder, Arista.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for Kak Tata and also for SKIL and UNPIL and also all the lecturers of international law in Udayana. My name is Leah from batch 22. I would like to ask regarding the cyber warfare violation. I'm quite interested in whether this cyber warfare violation constitutes as something very serious that it might fall into a non-derogable violation or a use cogens, let's say, and if whether if it is a use cogens or if it's not a use cogens, are there any situation where a cyber warfare usage is if cyber warfare usage can be done on several conditions, let's say if there's a force majeure that allows states to use cyber warfare usage, are there any situation where it can be used? That's all for my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Laetitia Arista. I'm sorry if I'm not correctly pronunciate your name. And who is going to be the next?
Excuse me, sir. Can I
Yeah.
have
Oh,
something?
okay. I've got it. Go ahead, Bernie.
Yeah. I have two questions regarding this conflict, but I'm not really an international law student, so can I ask about a more practical matter about geopolitical or regarding the Iran-Israel war?
Yes. Just go ahead, Bernie.
All right. So, what are your thoughts about Indonesia standing in the conflict of Iran-Israeli? We all know that our nation is a part of a non-bloc side, but we also have national interests about the newest Iran-Israeli war. That is, we can see the correlation in with Palestine, and our country tends to support Palestine. We can see the example from the example is our passport, that in this part Indonesia's passport can be used in Israel even with visa. Our nation is also tends to rely on China, which can be considered as a political ally of Russia, and the opposites of America, which supports Israel. So that goes my first question. What are your thoughts about it? And for my second question, it's about the cyber warfare itself. Uh, in cyber warfare, there's a chance that third parties are involved. The third parties are the one that provoking the war because it's related to the technological advancements, and I don't think that in this conflict about Iran-Israeli, the Iran have that capabilities, or the Palestine that matters, but Israeli has it. So, and America also has it, and they back Israel. So what can the related countries can do? Considering there's a vacuum of norms in that matters. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bernie, for the great question and also thoughts. Okay, I think every two question need to be respond by Tata first, yeah, because I don't want her to be overwhelmed. So we have two questions, Tata, from like Sisiasta talking about the impact of cyber warfare, how serious cyber when it happens, and also, if I'm not mistaken, she talked about the possibility to use a post mayor as an impact of cyber warfare. Secondly, we have also Bernie, who is talking about Indonesian standing in Iran-Israel conflict and what stance should be uh, should be uh, should be should be done in terms of Indonesian position in geopolitical strategies amid this conflict. Are you ready, Tata, to respond?
Yes, I'm ready to respond it. Thank you so much. Okay, the first question is from Leah. It's about the how serious or what kind of violation of cyber warfare can be happen. Okay, as long as I research in my thesis making, it's about the violation. Because I take this thesis in the about the Russia and Ukraine conflict, so I will give the kind of example. I will give the example that happened in the conflict of Russia Ukraine. There are several violations. I'm so sorry. I have to open my thesis. Okay. The first one. There are several. It's not really serious because I ever read it in one of the literature that talking. For now, the face of cyber warfare is not that big or not that high to be the or to be the main or primary method in in warfare, but it's only kind of side method that could be used for military necessity. So the impact or the effect for now is not as much as the conventional war could be caused. However, as the supporting kind of impact is violating the IHL. It also depends on what kind of method, what kind of weapon or warfare or types, any kind of types that used in one. We can the example by electrical power grid attack that could be happen. Like what Mr. Parikesit said before, if there's a patient, like if the let's say if a country A attack the electrical grid of country B, it's caused the like offline to every electrical power. It turned off the electrical power in one city of the country that attacked. It could cause the effect to the hospital. Let's say if the hospital lose the electrical, it could be give an impact to the patient in that. It could be the patient could be die or maybe in a crisis or maybe else. It will be. It's not really that hard. It's not really give a bad effect, but it could be cause some side effects. It's not directly giving the bad effect in the cyber warfare. And also the leaked data of the citizen in phishing, maybe we can give explanation in the phishing. People could lose their private data. It could be leaked or could be deleted the data. It will be so, it could be violating IHL. Why? Because it's attacking the civilian. Because we all know in IHL, attacking to civilians is prohibited. So if it is impactful or not, it will be still violate IHL because already attack the object or maybe the person protected in IHL. So I also give some explanation, and okay, there could be the hacking that happened in the banks also. If there's a hacker in cyber warfare, let's say A and B, country A and B still in cyber warfare condition. The country A attacked the banks of the country B. It also caused the big effect that the civilians will lose their money, and the banks will also get the bankrupt, and the country will cause the economic like the disruption their economic. It could be a violation also, but it's not that big as the destruction of the building, or maybe it caused injury, or maybe it caused death of the civilian. It's not the same as the military war, is the conventional war, because back again, cyber warfare is not the primary method. It's just the side method that could use to give a destruction or maybe supporting the military war. I can give that kind of example for the question that Leah asked. Maybe if there's something that Leah is still curious about, I will have a research it later, because as long as I know, that's what written in my thesis. Is it for Leah? Could you accept that as an answer?
Okay,
So
Kak
sorry.
Ova. What I get is that cyber warfare itself can, many times cyber warfare will affect the civilians too. So in any ways, that means that cyber warfare will violate the principle of distinction itself, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially
Thank you,
in-
Kak. That's all for me. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Leah. Okay, maybe I will answer the question from Bernie. There are two questions. The first one, Indonesia's standing or Indonesian position in the conflict of Iran Israel, and the second one is about the cyber warfare. What if the third parties are involved in the cyber warfare? Maybe for the first one, my opinion about Indonesian position in Iran Israel, I don't really search it deeply in conflict of Iran Israel, but as Bernie also stated that Indonesia still in the non-block, so we did not into Iran or into Israel, but we're in a neutral position. But later, we also sooner or later, maybe if there's another big war, we have to choose between both. So until now, I don't really have research. So if I'm afraid that I saying something that wrong, or maybe that it's not under my research. So I don't really have any kind of good answer for this. So we can see how Indonesia will standing in the future. But for now, I have to apologize. I don't really have a good answer for this kind of question because I did not research it deeply. So I refuse to say something that could create any kind of mistake. And maybe my lecturer, my great lecturer, Mr. Parikesit, or maybe Mr. Gede Palguna can give their opinion about this. So I will, let's say I'm skipping this question. I don't really have any kind of good answer for this. And I will just move to the second question about the cyber warfare. What if the third parties are involved? The possibility the third parties involved. Actually, in the cyber warfare itself, because it is cyber, it's different from the conventional war. If we have a conventional war, we have to use the weapon. We have to attack right on the land, right on that country. If the country A want to attack the country B by conventional war, they have to stay in that country. They have to be standing there in the country. But in a cyber warfare, we can control it from far apart. We can control it from country A, country B, country C. So there's a lot of possibility that the third parties could participate it, because also in my thesis about Russia and Ukraine, in Russia itself, the government of Russia did not accept the hacker that from Russia. They did not say that the hacker from Russia, but the tracking emails are saying that those hackers are from Russia. So the hackers could be not doing that hacking in Russia, but also could be doing it in maybe in other countries other than Russia. So it also could be happen in other parties, in the third party, that they also can attacking or doing any kind of cyber attack to the country that having the conflict. So the third party could be also participating without us knowing, because still cyber warfare can be controlling by far apart. Like, that's all I can say about the question that Bernie asked. Maybe it could help you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tata, for the great answer. I just wondering why your answer is better than previous sidang skripsi. Although sidang skripsi we use Indonesian language, your answer was not really good, to be frank. But now some questions have been answered pretty good, especially when we talk about the serious impact of cyber warfare in the recent world. Maybe Arista or Bernie, for example, or other audience, if you ever play PlayStation, for example, you ever play Battlefield or Call of Duty, for example, or Far Cry, those games are designed to create war condition. But the difference is, when we play a game of war, the target is pretty clear. Which one the military target, which one not military, which one need to be protected if the Red Cross staff coming through, and then like cultural heritage or hospital or peaceful ship coming through, then they are not a target. Everything is clear under that circumstances. But when we talk about cyber warfare, all is in the hidden situation, in the spy, sabotage, espionage, and everything make the qualification of violation itself is difficult to trace who actually the actor, the main actor, who should be take responsibility for those violations, because it's like a multi-layer, and in each layer is not clear, and the cyber, they can hide the identity, they can act like other people, manipulate their identity, and etc. So the impact definitely is more serious, more catastrophic, because of the nature of cyber warfare itself is very difficult to be identified. And I think for Indonesian standing, I think from my subjective perspective, I Indonesia need to be stay in the middle, not to support one particular country, because Indonesia has a story to be a neutral, non-block, something in the middle, something has a rule to resolve the conflict. Yeah, it is better as a country to resolve the conflict rather than involve or support party in the conflict. So the position from my perspective, it is better that Indonesia not to join, not to interfere, not to give expressive support to particular party. Okay, thank you for Arista and Bernie for the great question, and I will open the second session for the discussion. Who would like to express your idea? So this is not really serious, but meaningful, but has like fruitful discussion. So don't feel under pressure. Don't feel over what I should call it. Just this is informal. You can be free to express, to share your idea, your perspective, regardless with your experience, your age, and any kind of identity, because this event is created to make intensive discussion between all civitas academica of Law Faculty of Udayana University, and when you have different perspective, that is not going to problem, because we just try to apply what is regulated under ICCPR, freedom to think, freedom to participate, and etc. Okay, who would like to be the third one? Please raise your hand. Don't forget to mention your name, but there is no additional mark because this is not class or course. Okay, Ewi, and the next one is Arthur. Okay, Eka Pratiwi, time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Pariksit. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, it's clear. Go ahead, Eka.
Thank you. My question is, does the cyber warfare between Israel and Iran fall within the confines of armed conflicts? Since, as we know, international humanitarian law applies only in the context of armed conflicts. And in particular, it will not necessarily be possible to determine that the operation are in fact related to the armed conflict. And as Mr. Pariksit earlier stated, that sometimes it will be hard to know who operate the cyber attacks between the state. And also, since the nature of the cyber warfare is such that the identity of the actor carrying them out may very well be unknown, and give it a fact, maybe no grounds to assert that the operation were conducted by or on behalf of a party of a conflict. So my question is, does the cyber warfare fall within the conflicts of armed conflicts? Because I think it's a very important things to know. Can be international humanitarian law apply in this case? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eka, for the great question. The next one is Arthur. Okay, Arthur.
Okay, thank you for the chance, Mr. Parikesit. My name is Arthur. I would like to ask about the Tallinn manual. First, is the Tallinn manual legally binding? And also, does the Tallinn manual play in cyber warfare case? That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Arthur. Yeah. And the next one, yeah, Farah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Parikesit, for the opportunity. I would like to ask regarding the development of international humanitarian law itself. Do all the instruments regarding the cyber warfare that we have right now today is sufficient to ensuring the peace and security in the international community, or do we need to have another, maybe more legally binding instrument that maybe it can be in a form of treaty or customary or anything else that can be used in the context of cyber warfare? Thank you so much.
Okay, I think uh, you've got 3 questions, Tata, to be answered, and I think all those questions as seem as difficult to the lecturer question, but don't be discouraged because yeah, I think some question need a broader, need wider perspective, and yeah, it's not just about the recent situation, but also how the current international law can be applied to the ongoing and future possible conflict. Okay, Tata, would like to, are you ready?
Okay. For answering the question, I'm ready, Mr. Parikesit. Okay, since there are 3 questions that for me actually it's kind of hard. So I will try to answer it based on my just how long, how deep that I've been research about that. So if I have sorry, it's not have. If I answer it um, incorrectly, I will apologizing, but I will answer it carefully for not creating misinterpretation, or I will make a mistake further. So the first one is from Eka. It's about Iran-Israel conflict, isn't it? Is the conflict is considered as an armed conflict? If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Parikesit, is it the question?
Yeah, the Eka has 2 questions. The first one is how we can qualify cyber warfare as an armed conflict, and the second one, how the current international humanitarian law, can be applied to the recent cyber warfare conflict.
Okay. The first one is how we qualify cyber warfare as the armed conflict. This question is just the same as the question that I got when I have the thesis defense. And this is I hardly answer on that time. I think it will be still the same currently. So how we qualify the cyber warfare as an armed conflict? I have several research about this. The first one is in a cyber warfare is a method that could be used in the armed conflict. So, uh, why we call cyber warfare as an armed conflict? Firstly, because in a cyber warfare they have cyber attack and also the cyber operation. Oh, sorry, it's not cyber operation, cyber weapon. As long as I know, armed conflict is a conflict that using weapons or arm from the forces, or from the forces, it is could be international or non-international. In cyber warfare, uh, just the same as I explained before, there are weapons and also the types. There are also method. The method is attack method, and also defense method is the same as the conventional one, by using the arm, by using the weapon, and conventionally in military, the attack and also the defense. I thought that kind of concept is similar, the cyber warfare one and the conventional war one. So it could be categorized as the same. They both have the attack method and defense method. And the second one, in the cyber warfare, have the cyber weapon. Could be a weapon to attacking or defend. Just like the maybe it's different. The weapon is different, of course. If they in the conventional one have the missile or maybe drone or maybe tanks to attack, in the cyber warfare they have virus, also the computer system or maybe network to attack. So the impact will be different, but at the end, it also called the weapon. They both have weapon, conventional or cyber. They both have weapon, but in a different look, in different way, and also in a different impact. So I categorize it as it's not me, but I have researched it before, and cyber warfare is categorized in armed conflict, not as the primary one, but as the side one. So it could be categorized as the armed conflict under the IHL. And also from Arthur, it about the Tallinn manual. If I'm not mistaken, he asking about the Tallinn manual. Is it legally binding? And what is its role in the cyber warfare? So basically, Tallinn manual, the first one is concerning about the cyber warfare, Tallinn manual 1.0, in 2013. It's about cyber warfare, but it be renewal in 2017 is about cyber operations. So it's getting more wider. It's getting wider. It's not only about the cyber warfare, but also cyber operations. So it's not it's getting more, but Tallinn manual itself is not legally binding, of course, because I categorize it. It's categorized as the customary because it just kind of a book, more like a book that was made from the IHL instrument and also from the expert of IHL. So currently it's not as the agreement, not as the treaty, not as the convention. It just it could the role about the Tallinn manual in cyber warfare as the customary international law. As we know, in international humanitarian law, there are sources from IHL that could be used if there's a case. The first one is agreement or treaty or else who have legally binding, and the second one is customary international law, and the third one is precedent, and also the doctrine from a IHL expert. So the Tallinn manual have the role as the customary international law. We could use is that as customary. So if there case about cyber warfare, we could use Tallinn manual even though it is not legally binding, but it could be used as the customary international law, which is could be accepted as one of the sources of international humanitarian law. And the third one from Farah. So sorry, I think I did not get your question. So sorry, can you please repeat it?
For Farah, she asked about
development.
do all instruments within international law are sufficient to ensure peace and security.
Okay. I also researched about this in my thesis. So until now, even though there are a lot of cases concerning cyber warfare, there were no the case, like literally the case that took to the jurisdiction of ICC or ICJ, but just still being the unsolved case, just staying like that. So we here need the instrument that will be legally binding, or agreement, or else, or convention, to in the form of cyber warfare in the future, because until now cyber warfare could still use in a lot of war, maybe in the conflict of Russia and Ukraine both using cyber warfare, and the previous cases before also using cyber warfare. And the technology, as we know, will still be getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the future. So there will always a possibility that in the future, technology, especially in the cyber warfare later, will cause unnecessary suffering to human with the technology they are now make. So for the cyber warfare, of course we need the legally instrument about that. So I don't really know how to answer it more because I haven't researched it so deep, and I am afraid to make any mistakes. So in my opinion, regarding to the cyber warfare that happen in various cases, we need the really legally binding instrument, especially in IHL, that concerning about the cyber warfare, cyber operation, or any cyber actions in the war. Maybe that's all, Mr. Parikasit.
Okay, thank you for the great answer, and I think you have already answered all questions, and yeah, you have also practiced when answering how to qualify cyber warfare as an armed conflict. I think, yeah, you have applied as a legal scholar. Yeah, the use of legal interpretation. Yeah, because usually in the first semester, usually student will join course on legal penalaran and argumentasi hukum, legal argumentation and reasoning, and in one of the way to cope with the issue of vacuum of norm is we can either restrict, limit, or extensive. And then to qualify cyber warfare as an armed conflict by using extensive legal interpretation, then yeah, because they also use a weapon, then it can be at the end qualify as armed conflict as well, because I think in my perspective, the impact of cyber warfare is pretty serious. And also the issue about the Tallinn manual, yeah, I think for the substance of Tallinn manual, I think it's pretty good, but maybe the status, yeah, need to be strengthened, maybe from just like a soft law to be hard law. Although maybe there is a challenge to make it stronger, because yeah, the current situation in, for example, in United Nations, and it's not that conducive at the moment. And for the question about the how sufficient of international law instrument to to ensure, to protect humanity, to create peace and security, the law must be dynamic because the technology advancement is always moving, always getting sophisticated. So if law is static, then it will create many loopholes, many vacuum of norm, and then it can be used for stronger party, the one that have more powerful position, dominant, more military support, and also because the degree of cyber warfare particularly is quite challenging to be identified and prevented. Okay, now is 8:31 p.m. and maybe one more question as the final session. Would like to ask just one question. I think we have so many questions. I think 5 already question, and all the question is pretty substantial. Going into the deep of the application of cyber warfare. Okay, is there any question? Okay, if there is no question, maybe I'd like to invite Pak Palguna to like some impression or comment for the issue maybe of the issue of cyber warfare. Maybe cyber warfare will be used in constitutional court maybe.
Hopefully not. Thank you very much, Pak Parikesit. Once again, I would like to appreciate your initiative. This is a kind of meaningful support, as well as a meaningful provocation for students majoring in international law to express their opinion about actual issues regarding the international law issue according to their research. And it is a very encouraging to me. I think it could be developed into a wider a wider and a bigger bang. I would like to say a bigger bang. So maybe, as we already discussed this morning with Pak Parikesit during our time when explaining the PhD students, that maybe you should you should air this occasion to YouTube, so maybe it would be more encourage students, especially in the Faculty of Law and beyond, University of Udayana, to join or to participate in our discussion, and I think it also it would be a good a good instrument to lure students, especially in the Faculty of Law at Udayana University, to become to take the major of international law in the near future. And I would like to give my special appreciation to Margareta Valencia, or maybe fondly called Tata. Tata bukannya penyanyi dangdut ya? Margareta Valencia, for your interesting research, your interesting exposition on the issue concerning the cyber warfare. I think when we talk about a wider perspective from the discussion, maybe I don't know. I don't know what happened during the examination, the thesis examination, because I'm not one of the examiner. Whether a suggestion from Tata to the maybe to the IRC, those who have to make a or to make treaty, maybe to develop a kind of advanced treaty concerning the advance concerning maybe the updating the principles in rules of armed conflict, whether derived from the Geneva Convention on the Hague Convention, especially when we are talking about this cyber warfare, because I don't know, I don't remember, I don't remember who launched the question about a kind of whether it is sufficient for the existing rule of international humanitarian law to deal with the advancement of warfare. I think it is a delicate question to be answered in the next future. That is my okay. Once again, as my closing statement, I would like to thank all the participants and especially Pak Sigit for initiating this event and this instrument of provocation for students majoring in international law to develop their perspective, their study, and even their interest in studying international law. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pak Sigit.
My very pleasure, Pak Palguna, and thank you for your support and also for the great suggestion. And this event is prepared to be recorded, and then the result of record also will be uploaded both in SGAL YouTube channel and Udayana Law Faculty YouTube channel. So
great. Yeah.
But I do agree if in the next occasion maybe we will have like a wider event held in offline, invite not just students but also alumni and also expertise from international law, a kind of like international law seminar, but we need, of course, because if we want to do offline event, then we have to give like advancement maybe 1 or 2 months before because of administrative and financial issue. But I do agree that this event, but to keep the momentum, we try to make it in the regular basis every 2 weeks, if it's possible, if not every month. So the goal is how we can gather all the international law, not just international law students, but also international law lecturer and also alumni of international law to discuss, to have a full discussion. And for the next occasion, I will inform all the participants that maybe in the next 2 weeks, we have the second session of this international law today. Yeah, I can spill the name out. Eka Pratiwi will explain about the existence of countermeasure in international law.
Oh.
So hopefully all the participants who are joining today will keep joining in the next and future event. So we will have like intensive communication. And don't worry in terms of English, yeah, because we are all learner, yeah, even myself also. This forum also make me at least 1 hour or 2 hours to study English more seriously because because
Definitely.
again the English as second language is normal if we have limitation, and don't be discouraged, don't be afraid, don't be scared if your English is not that good, because yeah, this forum is a learning forum. We just want to try to express the idea in the international language. So yeah, you can imagine this is just academy. This is just a bridge, yeah, before you guys entering the real life, the real journey as a law schooler. Okay, thank you so much for Pak Palguna, for my colleagues, Bapak Maharto Yase, Ibu Cok Dia, are joining to this event today, and also all participants, organizing committee, and also Tata for the great presentation and great answer. And I just quote the lyric, yeah, if you still remember Michael Jackson. Yeah, Michael Jackson has a great song, "Heal the World." Yeah, yeah, heal the world. Yeah, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. So we have to regulate. We have to make a concern about cyber warfare. We need to heal the world, not hurt the world. So yeah. So this is our homework, but at least Faculty of Law Udayana University has a role to express this issue, and so that this issue need to be resolved carefully, because definitely I don't want Indonesian to be in conflict position, but we have also to anticipate to prevent any possible situation, because the future, we don't know how the future is going on. But for a better preparation, then we can like Sun Tzu ever said. Yeah, I remember I quote when Pak Palguna sometime quote a quote from Sun Tzu. Yeah, if we know ourselves and our enemy, then we don't have to be worried about the result of 1,000 wars. So we need to prepare ourselves, and then we need to identify now on who is going to be our enemy in the. Okay, closing my, I don't have any closing statement, but I have pantun to close this statement, and also to appreciate the excellent work from our football team who will fight for the Paris ticket tonight. Yeah, so this is my pantun from Ivan Jenner to Justin Hubner, from River in Manchester to suburb in Denver. Please never surrender, and always remember, if we together, we can finally fly better, better, and better. Okay, thank you. I return back the session to the Anggita.
Okay, thank you so much to Mr. Parikesit and Ms. Margareta for an amazing discussion session. Your dedication to facilitating meaningful dialogue is greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished participants, we invite you to fill out the attendance link as you may access the certificate of appreciation by the end of the form. Our team will send the link through the chat box. All right. As we draw to a close, I extend my deepest gratitude to each participant for their valuable contribution to today's discussions. Let us carry forward the insights gained and continue to engage meaningfully with the issue of cyber warfare and international humanitarian law. On behalf of the organizing team, thank you for your active participation, and we look forward to welcoming you to future events. Until our next online encounter, stay safe and connected. Om Santi 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 Om. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, may peace be upon us.
Thank you so much, all participants. Thank you so much, organizing committee, for making this possible. Thank you so much, all my colleagues, Pak Palguna, also, Pak Maharto Yaso, Bu Cok Dia.
Let's make this as really a regular basis, Pak Sigit. I'm very happy and even I feel so overwhelmed by this first impression you have given to us as your senior in international law department. And thank you, Anggita, and then thank you for the student community for international law. You are the best, in my opinion. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Have a good night and have waiting for the football match, guys.
Yeah. I will leave the room. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
The record may be stopped.